Hello everyone, it's Shang China here, back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over how China has pushed Russia and the US to have peace talks over the Russia-Ukraine situation. As you can see, today is the 18th of February, where Foreign Minister Wang Yi is currently at the United Nations talking about
Кризис в Украине длится уже 3 года. Наступил момент перехода к переговорам. С начала этого кризиса Киев всегда выступал за политическое решение этого вопроса. Китай поддерживает все усилия, ведущие к началу мирных переговоров. Мы продолжим следовать 4 пунктам, предложенным председателем Си Цзиньпином. Все страны должны более объективно и взвешенно относиться к этому. Необходимо создать консенсус для решения этого конфликта, заложить основы мира.
basically the security of the entire world because he's having the UNSC meeting, which is the United Nations Security Council, and he's chairing that meeting, and he talked over the subject of this Russia-Ukraine conflict and basically said that China is very open for the peace talks between Russia and US over the Ukraine conflict, and China's always been a supporter of solving these issues. And that is the truth. I mean, over the past 3 years or so, China has always been in the front end of saying we need to end this situation. We're going to end this, situation that's going on in Russia and Ukraine. China's always been supportive of a peaceful solution to the situation. And how it seems that's going to work after we've seen the U.S. and Russia meeting in Saudi Arabia, having a talk that lasted for over 4 hours, including a working lunch. Basically, number one, there's gonna need to be a ceasefire in the region. So there's gonna have to be a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Number two is that in Ukraine there's gonna have to be new elections. So they're gonna have to redo their elections because in reality, what's been going on in Ukraine is that ever since the beginning of the situation that's been going on over there, ever since the conflict, is that Ukraine has been pushed into martial law. So Zelensky, which I believe is a dictator, has basically used Ukraine, basically initiated martial law. So a part of this peace agreement is that there's going to have to be new elections, which I believe is fair. And then number three is then there will be the official signing of peace between Russia, U.S., Ukraine, and even China as well. They'll have like the official agreements and everything between Russia and Ukraine. Now, the United States has already come out and said that if there is a peaceful solution to the situation over there, the United States is willing to lift sanctions on Russia. I mean, we've already seen Trump trying to invite Putin and Russia back into the G7. If Russia will be willing to join, I mean, that's not certain because as you can see, the BRICS organization has been very successful. And I believe that Trump has already said himself that he would like to join the BRICS at one point. But now we've seen him do like a 180 where basically saying that anyone that's a member of the BRICS, they'll be having a 100% tariff if they try to do anything against the US currency. Which I mean is completely unfair. I mean, the BRICS organization has come out saying that they're not trying to make a BRICS currency for now, but I mean, having trade between each country, like let's say like you have trade between, let's say, Russia and China. Russia uses their currency and China uses their renminbi. I mean, I feel that that's very fair for that. There shouldn't be a reason for Russia and Chinese trade having to use U.S. dollars. That just doesn't make sense. Well, that's one of the things that Trump's talking about whenever he's going against the BRICS organization. He's saying, oh, that there's going to be a 100% tariff. I feel that it's not very realistic because recently we've seen with the tariffs that Trump has put on China that China has immediately just went back and said, hey, we're going to sanction you as well. And we're going to hit you where it hurts. We're going to tariff you where it hurts. And the U.S. consumers already been feeling that. And now one of the big things is that one of the main heart lines for the U.S. military, which they have to depend on China for certain products and certain materials, is basically been cut off. Basically trying to say that those things are not going to be exported, those things are not going to be sold to the United States. I think that the United States really needs to wake up. I think the U.S. really needs to think here and basically be like, all right, we need to be fair. The world does not revolve around the United States, and that they need to understand that this is going to become a multipolar world, and that's what we've all been talking about here, and that's what a lot of these meetings in the United Nations are talking about is how we can build the path for a peaceful multipolar world. Because whenever you have a single polar world, like let's say like if the United States was in full control, I mean it's not fair, and that's what we've seen basically where the hegemony that the United States has been carrying on, where like they'll be like, oh, all right, we're going to sanction you. We're against what you believe, so we're just going to sanction you. And basically, they've had sanctions of, even thousands%. Like look at Venezuela. Look what happened to Venezuela after U.S. sanctions. I mean, they've recovered, but it's sad. And the real thing about all these sanctions is that it's the people that suffer. So I mean, nobody wins. It's the people that suffer, and the people have to pay the prices for those sanctions and all those tariffs. So I mean, it's completely unfair. I mean, you look at a lot of what we could call billionaires of a lot of these countries. I mean, especially in the United States, whenever a country gets sanctioned or a country gets tariffed, it's them that are making a lot of money. Like look what happened during COVID. There were all those sanctions and tariffs going on, all those shutdowns going on in the U.S., and the people that were making all the money were the U.S. billionaires. So, I mean, as a U.S. citizen, and any American really should think these are completely unfair. I mean, not only to that country, but to them themselves, to the American themselves. I mean, they're having to pay the price for all these goods and all these things. I mean, that's how an economy works. Okay, you tariff a country. Let's say you tariff a country like China 100%. Where the United States has to depend on China for basically every single product in the country. I mean, who's going to pay for that? Of course, it's not going to be the U.S. government paying for it. Of course, China's not going to pay for it. It's going to be coming out of the U.S. consumer's pocket. That's common sense. Like all these tariffs, it's like it would be like you'd be losing money to sell the product. So it's like you either have the product or you don't. Well, obviously the product is needed, so that money is going to be coming out of the U.S. consumer product. So basically, a product that they may have spent $3 before, they're going to have to pay $7. So I mean, completely unfair. And also going back to the Russia-Ukraine peace talks, the Foreign Minister of Russia has also came out and said that these talks were very productive, and he believes that this is a very good look on how we could get things done. I mean, the talk was done for over 4 hours, so I mean, that should be a signal there. And with both sides coming out saying that they were very productive talks, believing that they're very efficient. And one of the very interesting things about this meeting is that Zelensky didn't attend. And no European leader besides Russia attended either. I mean, it was very interesting. But I'm not surprised that they didn't attend, because Ukraine has to play that tool against the world and have like the world like feel sorry for him. And Europe's just going along with them. I mean, they're all puppets, really. So I mean, it's just silly. I mean, they're just acting like little kids. I mean, a real government, a real leadership. If Ukraine was done under a real leadership, Ukraine would also attend that meeting. Whether they agree or not, they would attend that meeting. And it would be like, if Ukraine's a real leadership, Ukraine would be like, all right, these are my things for this agreement. Basically, Zelensky's come out. He's only willing to talk to Putin about solving the situation. I mean, that's not realistic. I mean, you have to attend all the meetings in the process. You're not going to get to Putin in the first step. If you want to meet with President Putin, you're going to have to go through all the steps that are there. You're going to have to work through, you're going to have to attend the Saudi Arabia meeting. And of course, there's probably going to be meetings in the future as well, so they'll have to attend those meetings as well. But them not attending that, it's not going to do them any good. All it's showing the world is that they're a very weak leader. Very weak country. So, I mean, come on, I mean, it's silly. But that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you. See you in the next one.